Turkey will examine this. I said, we know their advantages and disadvantages. Let me put it this way, Eurofighter. So these are, and I'm not even asking Rafael, so you're saying that Rafael, and a better plane than the F-6 Block 70s. So if he fights on the field, there are many advantages of these two airplanes, or rather these, the big advantage of the airplane, there is. Both the IASA radars and some of the missile systems on board are very advanced. These airplanes will be able to take off. If it enters the Air Force inventory, we're not going to be able, that gap that was created until the Kings came, I think it will be completed in a very strong way.
So, what was Yaşar Güler, the Minister of National Defense, pointing us to with his recent statements on this issue? Here, we are now driving the stone in the path of the mess made by Germany.
You and I were talking about this today. It's not something like this, friends. That's how I gave the example. We decided to buy a car.
Yes, he did.
And the guy who was going to sell the car brought the car.
Uh-huh.
We looked at the bodywork of the car. We looked at the engine. The car was good. Come on, brother, I'm buying this car. You know, this image is not such an image. Mm-hmm. They sent us 2 airplanes, and we examined the plane for 2 minutes. The airplane is very nice. The bodywork is good. Let's buy that airplane. This is not the point. The given image here, this is not an inspection gallery. This is an image of 2 countries. He is committed to this. In the sense of show, this has been done. Yes. Otherwise, you know, it does not mean that you learn this plane by getting on and off the plane, and it is not decided to buy an airplane from here. And this was already the result of a review that had come as a result of this review that had resulted in the reciprocal states going back and forth. Turkey's, these planes had been studied in some countries to their advantage. And after that, the decision was made, I say it once again. The planes coming here are not planes that have landed for inspection. For this image, it was an image to show determination, to show Britain's support to Turkey on this issue. One, the moving has a symbolic meaning.
It has such a meaning.
The picture of the commander of the Air Force with British officials, the message was that we are determined, brother, we are determined to give you this plane. Let the countries that will not give it think. There was only one objection here, was Germany, and he raised this issue in Germany. So prior authorization for the interview has been granted. We will examine together what happens next. This does not mean that tomorrow morning these planes will come to us. Let me tell you that. There is a certain procedure, a certain plan will work, but with the UK in the recent period on military cooperation, the point reached is obviously a very pleasing point.
Well, let's take a look at the Eurofighter Typhoon. If you want to look at it technically.
Okay, let's see.
On the one hand, if I remember correctly, we had a comparison with the FXXV. Yes, that's exactly it. When we look at it like this, of course, on the one hand, it is a 5th generation aircraft,
well, for one
right?
thing, it is not the same generation, so that's why...
Yes, we do.
Let's not do it like this.
You are very right.
So we are comparing Selma and Per. We are talking about 2 different airplanes in terms of generation.
Yeah,
maybe when we compare this airplane, the airplane we will compare, maybe it should be, there's 16 Block 70. It must be Rafael. I think F-35. The class is not the same class as his.
Yes.
Yes, long thing speeds and others. And it may be different from each other. F-35's biggest feature is its invisibility. So that's its advantage. But this airplane, from other planes, in terms of what we call 4.5 generation airplanes, the best airplane of its generation. Look, it is said to be the best airplane of its generation. I am not knowledgeable about the Air Force, but when I look at what has been written and drawn so far, when I look at what has been written and drawn by people I believe in, they're begging as the best airplane in its generation. If received, I think all the airplanes that Greece bought, it would be a success story that you can exploit.
Yes. Well, then let's talk about the latest situation with the FXVs.
You can also say, and we were doing Honeycon.
Let him explain. But ultimately, there is a period of time before it becomes operational.
Look, we are making the same mistake again and again. Why were we going to buy XXVs? were XXVs. We were going to replace the FIVs. When the FXXVs came, the FXCVs would not be wasted.
Yes.
Our FIVs would be replaced by FXXVs. One of the issues we were discussing today was always the same, Atim Hani Khan. There is a process to go through until Khan's mission number reaches a certain number. In the meantime, you need a group of new generation aircraft, including FX Block XXS, including our own free project. Maybe you can even put the Free Fair in there as a light style airplane. Not quite the same example, but at least as a platform. You can even put the Red Apple in there. You're going to do this with him. For example, I think one of the best examples of this is, but if there is one of the examples that needs to be discussed, I would be very pleased if friends can put it. I like talking to our own airplane more than talking to other people's airplane. Do you have Ankara 4? A Phoenix Taos. I think I had an image if I can't open it. Can we show him?
We'll find it now, but I think it'll take a few minutes.
So let me say it one more time. This project, it's not a project that will pay for everything. I mean, it's not a project that kills Khan. It's not other projects.